Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, what's today? We got September 8th, 8:25 a.m. Hope everybody's having a good morning. And let's get right into it. All right, let's get right into this. Let's look at that good old SPX. All right, so what happened yesterday, right? We had a short covering rally. And I mentioned yesterday in the video that I just have a feeling that we're bottoming out, and I feel like the bulls are going to do something today. And then it happened, right? Because I went over how much selling there was. We're just like very oversold in the short term, and we got short covering yesterday, right? So, I mean, that's what happened yesterday, right? It's not much to go into. I mean, you can clearly see this huge candle pretty much had people short cover, squeeze some shorts. Doesn't mean we're in a bull market, just means that finally sellers are removed a little bit from the market, but by no means does that mean selling's over, right? However, I want to point out a couple things. Here. So, why I have the Fibonacci retracements on from the lows to this high, okay? Just to get into that, the 61.8 level, okay, and that is 38.99 on the SPX. It's like if you go past this and close below it, more times than not, you're going to start going lower. It's like the last line in the sand. Okay? That 61.8 is like the last line in the sand here. Right here. Okay? Let me make that better. Right there. So if you drop, usually when you drop below that and you start finding acceptance below it, that's when you know maybe this move has been negated. Alright, so far the market has defended this 61.8, right? It's defended it. So, you know, that's a piece of information, right? You could take for right now. Okay? That's a piece. I mean, we came down here once, twice, three times, almost four times, right? And eventually it got bought up. Right? Eventually it got bought up. It doesn't mean bull. It just means okay, well, we're defending this area right now. The more we couldn't go lower. I mean, we moved a ton, right? So he's got to keep that in mind. Okay. Now, if we look at the SPX, okay, we have certain things that we need to do in order to, let's say, have the bulls have a leg up, or maybe start to make something out of this, right? So we have some levels. 40.15. We have this resistance that's been strong. 40.15 right here. You got two candles right here and right here. We need to break that and hold above it. Okay. What else is here? We have the 50 moving average. We have the 100 moving average. Okay. That's our first obstacle that we need to break, hold, and the next obstacle is 40.80. 40.80. And then you obviously have to contend with this trend line. So there's a lot for the bulls to overcome, right? By no means is this over. It's just that's what we have to do in order to get a leg up to go higher. Okay? And really quickly, I'll just show you the SPY. So people who just really look at the SPY would get some levels as well. So same thing, right? 61.8, 38, 388.74 was that line in the sand, right? We couldn't clear it in the SPY. Okay, so levels here, 401.2, that's the double top. And then we have the 50 moving average at 401.25. Okay, we also have the 100-day moving average at 402.98, called 403. And then the level with a trend line right at it as well is 405.84, called 406. We break that and hold above it, that is a very key win for the bulls. But until we do that, until we do that, it's a wait and see, right? So let's look at the cues, right? Let's look at the cues. Okay, so the cues, same thing. Couldn't hold above and close the 61.8, the 294 level, right? So we have some levels above. We have 307.22. Okay, that's one level. And we have a trend line, as well as the 50-day moving average at 305.75, and the 100 days pretty much at the same. And we have a trend line here as well that we need to break. So we got work cut out for us more in the cues. Okay, it's a little weaker. So I wanted to show that. All right, let's see what their 10-year yield is doing. So 10-year yield, oh, gap down a little bit today, down 1.19%. We're at 3.22 right now, still holding this trend line. Okay, so some bonds being bought. I don't know what this exactly means right now, but the bond markets member tell us what's going on. If we break this trend line, that would be very interesting, right? Because that could be a good sign for the market. Have to keep that on watch, though. Have to keep that on watch. Okay. So let's get into the futures. There's not a lot to talk about. We can recap yesterday in a little bit more of detail. Okay. So let's look at that. Going to position this a little better for you guys. Okay, so a little recap. Okay, so in the overnight, we kind of double bottomed here. I talked about this low. Then I said we were in yesterday's session, right? The overnight was inside yesterday's session. However, when we opened here, we pretty much drove up, broke these overnight highs, I'm sorry, key level of 39.20. And then once we broke the 39.40, it was short covering time, and it just ripped. It kind of, I would say it ripped a little bit, and then it kind of melted up to here. Okay, so you can kind of see that there was let me see here, these single prints and stuff like that got cleaned from here. These single prints that I talked about got cleaned. That was why some of that got ripped through, right? That's what I talk about. And we finally cleaned those. It just means that, there wasn't going to be much resistance there. Hence why it kind of looks very thin with the volume here. Okay. Now, what's happening now is we're waiting for Powell. Powell's going to talk at, believe 9:10 a.m. The market's waiting for that talk. Okay. So in the overnight, look what we got here. We got a very symmetric. We got a very even distribution, right? Very even distribution. So how I look at this, okay, this single prints all the way to here. There's not a lot of structure here. Okay, you can see the volume pocket on the right. Look at this volume pocket. That's how you can look at the profile and just automatically know, okay, that's not a lot of value here, right? There's not a lot of value. So if we come back to these areas, right, are they supportive and we go higher, or do we rip through them back? That market will tell us that. Of course, Powell's talking, so I don't know for how long, but that's basically my gauge. Okay. And another way to look at it is, okay, most trader price is also up here, right? So think about this. People got long here. Okay. And most people are long here. Which could also mean if we violently drop, they're gonna have to liquidate their positions. It's another way to look at it, okay? So look at this area. I'm gonna say this area with the low volume, right? The pocket of volume that's low. Look at this area, and if we can build out volume here, okay, that's bullish. Okay, remember, value is king, right? If we can build value out here and we don't go back down to here, that is a win for the bulls. Okay, that might send us higher later on, but that's the key, right? That's what we need to know. Can we build value out here, or do we come back down and go back to where value is? And the market could only tell us that. I don't know, right? I don't know what Powell's going to say, but that's what I have to look for. Okay, that's what I have to look for. So let's go. So that's what I'm looking at. Okay, I just want to, hopefully that makes sense. That's what how I like to look at the market. Like, what is it going to tell me here? You know, what is it going to tell me? I need information from the market in order to make decisions in my trading, and how to read it, right? Because it doesn't always mean I can predict. You have to have scenarios, right? Scenarios are keep you unbiased. It's like, if this happens, then this should happen. If this happens, then this should happen, right? It keeps you kind of open. So I can go into the Nasdaq. Now the Nasdaq is not going to be much of a different picture. It's going to be this pretty much the same, right? Now in the Nasdaq right now, we're actually coming into that area. It's actually weaker. It's actually making a little more lows right now. So like I said, right, let's look at the Nasdaq. Here's single prints here and here. This is emotional buying. Look at how thin the volume is too, right here. We can look at the profile here. Look, you got volume here, which is from the overnight, right? But then there's a big pocket with not a lot of volume, right? So this is already it was already going low, right? This could cause panic and longs liquidate, and we could find ourselves back at value here. Now Powell's going to talk, so I don't, this is a very symmetrical profile too, so we could find ourselves back here in the next half hour. But I don't know, right? I just want to make sure you guys know that when you have this kind of short covering that goes straight up like that, right, without two-sided trading, you could revisit this and it just gets cut right through like a hot knife through butter. It could. It doesn't mean it has to. But that's how the market works, right? If you have two-sided trading, buyers and sellers, buyers and sellers, buyers and sellers, you're going to have volume built out here, and it's going to be hard to just cut through it. But when you don't have volume and you have a pocket, not going to be that hard to cut through it if there's strong sellers. Keep that in mind, okay? Keep it in mind. All right, let's go over to the 60 minutes futures chart. Alrighty. So on ES, right? Obviously, we're consolidating here, waiting for Powell. Now, I talked about the levels yesterday. I talked about this inverse head and shoulders. The neckline was here. We broke it. And then we broke the next key level and broke the next key level. You can see these candles pretty much show you short covering. It's not two-sided trading. You can see it in the candlesticks. Okay? So, obviously today, key level of resistance 40.15. This is that strong level I talked about in the SPX and the SPY right here. That's a key level of resistance. I'm not saying we go there today. Okay, I'm not saying we go there today. I'm just saying it's key level, right? So, and obviously here, you have a bull flag. But we're waiting on Powell, so I don't put much weight into that. Okay, we're waiting on Powell. So, of course, I have some of these levels still up here because I'm just using them as a gauge. Okay, we dip below 39.61. That's going to tell me something. Because if we come back, we're probably going to land in this area with this demand zone here. Okay, so still key levels of support: 38.93.75 and 38.86. Okay, those are the key levels of support. We really have to find out from this. We're going to find out Powell. We're going to go this way or this way, right? I don't know which way. But just know above 40.15 is key. I mean, if we break that, our next, we could land up into this supply zone and, knocking on the door of 40.71. But I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I'm just pointing it out. Okay, let's go over to the Nasdaq. Okay, Nasdaq. All right, bull flag doesn't really matter to me. Now, they did just punch through a support level that was kind of holding support of 122.40. That's the overnight, so that already happened. Okay, that's just fine. And then, what do we got? We got a key levels of resistance. Okay, we go higher from this 124.71 key resistance. They also got a supply zone there. Okay, below us. Really, is I'm feeling if we come down, see these candles of poor structure, no support. We could come back down to here. Have a little trouble 120, 140, but like come back down to this demand zone and we could chop around, right? But then the key support levels are here: 119.72, 119.37. Okay, so all those levels I circled are important, because we're going to go one or two ways, obviously, of what the market feels about what Powell says. Okay, so let's go into a little bit of what my game plan will be. Like I said, it's not as easy because there's news catalyst on the hedge, but I'll just go over in brief scenarios. Alrighty. Let me just pull that up. All right. So obviously yesterday's session, high and low. All right. So from this news from Powell, right? We're gonna. I mean, it's not hard to say we're gonna break higher or we're gonna go lower, right? And what I'm saying here is value is down here. Most traded price of the week is 39.08. Okay, so now price has moved away from value, like I've spoken about before. And price needs to stay up here and build value, or we return back to where value is. Okay, so the structure is not strong. I've mentioned this before. It's not strong. This is weak. Okay, so if there is a move down, it could be a very quick and swift move. And let's just go with the scenario, and enough of me talking about the value. So we could open what I feel could happen. Let's say if it's bearish, push up, find sellers, clean these singles, find a little resistance, and then I feel we get a big flush down. Okay, and then I feel we can push all the way back down to 3098 and balance off, maybe even drop lower and come back and balance off. Okay, that's one scenario. As far as, you know, let's take it in the other way. Bring this down a little bit. Okay, we could always open, come down, clean the singles, however, find support here. If the market likes what Powell's saying, come back up here, probably go around the RTH high from yesterday, and then we find ourselves in the supply zone. Okay, and we're going to knock on that door to 40.15. And if we find, we can go one or two ways here. We could drop down and maybe balance here, or if we break it, we're going on. Okay, we're moving on to let's look at the chart where we can go really quickly. Where can we go, right? We can go, like I said before, in this area, 40.71. That's a pretty far move, so I'm not saying that. 40.15, I could say we maybe go to 40.45. All right, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see, because that level is huge. There's shorts there. Okay, so back to this. Yeah, that's what I see. I mean, some move's gonna happen. Some move's gonna happen. Okay. Now, in the Nasdaq, I see the same thing. Nasdaq, same thing. Okay, we're going to bring this in and make it a little smaller. And again, we could clean the single prints, and I think we can come right back down to here, balance around 122, find in this demand zone 119.72, and let's say we break it, break, and we're coming right back down. Okay, if this is not a good, because this, like I said, there's poor structure here, and longs are going to cover. Okay, they're going to liquidate those longs. I think we also could open up here, come down, clean the singles, and then if we like what Powell says, come right back to yesterday's high, balance, and we're shooting right up for 124.71, and that's a decision maker here. If we push higher, more shorts are going to cover, or we could fail here, and balance up here. Right? I don't know what will happen today. I'm just saying that's what will happen because of what the market is. Okay. I don't know. Let me see how I'm doing on time really quickly. Okay. So hopefully it gave you some insight. Like I said, we're all waiting on what Powell's going to say, and you can already see here, like I've talked about, NQ's already getting found some lows, and I'm saying I think we should probably land in the middle here, 122.71. Same with the S&P 500 here, ES 39.80. I think we're going to be around these levels when the market opens, and then we're just going to wait. We're going to be waiting to see on what Powell says. Okay, so I wish everybody good luck today. I wish everybody to be patient, wait for the market to set you up, and then make some money. So I am going to say everybody good luck today, and tell anybody, whoever you is a trader, to give them my channel. To, like to get some more viewers, and that would be great if you can share it with somebody, and give me a like. I'm looking for more subscribers. That would be great. Looking to expand my content in the future, so that would help me out. And good luck to everyone today.